really interesting little islands that are weaving around to get from place to place to place. A really cool, a really special part of the world. So a very warm welcome to this itinerary on this very, very special ship. Now I'd like to introduce to you each and every single one of the fantastic crew that we do have here on the Marella Dream. And Marella is very, very keen on employing the most handsome people that you can possibly have see. And all of the people they employ, they want them to have some of the most beautiful people that you've ever seen. You're going to meet these people and think, wow, they're so pretty, they're so pretty. Unfortunately, they weren't available, so instead we have some other people who also work for Marella, and they're going to be introduced to you instead. That's what we have. You know, we do the best with what we have at all times. So I get asked, what do I do when I'm not on the ship? I travel around for a few months, not on board, but I have friends who work for other cruise lines, and I sometimes get invited onto their ships. And I've, as a result of that, done a bit of traveling into different parts of the world and different places. But I've managed to overhear some conversations between some other guests on other cruise lines. And I've been asked by Marella not to mention the name of those other cruise lines on the microphone. So anyway, there I was on this other cruise line's vessel with my mate, and I was listening into some conversations, and they were having a talk about the weather. And they were talking about how good the weather is on different cruise lines. And it's a pretty much almost word-for-word conversation. One couple said to the other, the weather here on this particular cruise line isn't very good. And the other couple said, do you know what, if you want to have great weather, if you want to guarantee great weather, what you should do is sail with Norwegian cruises. Because they always have great weather. Has anyone here been with Norwegian cruises? And? What was the weather like? I heard good weather. Cold? Whereabouts were you? I don't understand how it happens, I don't really. Caribbean? Weather was alright? Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so we here at Marella take weather very seriously. So what we have done is we have done some research, and we sat around some ports where some Norwegian cruise line vessels were docked. We watched the weather, and we had somebody who was with a checklist, was ticking boxes, and he was watching, and he watched a pigeon fly over a Norwegian cruise line ship. It landed in the port, close to a person, and then the person who works for Marella approached that person and offered them a job. And they now work in the shop. So we have great weather because the person who works in the shop watched a pigeon fly over a Norwegian cruise line ship. But we have great weather forecast for the whole cruise. It looks like we have around 18, 19 degrees centigrade for most of our port calls. Clear skies, sunny, 18, 19 degrees, which is about 18, 19 degrees warmer than the United Kingdom at the moment. So not too shabby. Ladies and gents, I'd like to introduce to you each and every